Jake and Lisa, a young couple, wanted to explore the country and have some adventure. They had planned to drive from Texas to California, stopping at various places along the way. But things took a wrong turn when they got lost in the middle of nowhere on a dark and stormy night. They had followed the GPS directions, but somehow they ended up on a dirt road that led them to a deserted town. The town looked like it had been abandoned for decades, with boarded-up windows, rusty signs, and overgrown weeds. There was no sign of life, except for a flickering neon sign that read, "Motel." Jake and Lisa decided to check out the motel, hoping to find someone who could help them, or at least a place to stay for the night. They parked their car in front of the motel and walked to the reception. The door was unlocked, but there was no one inside. The reception area was dusty and dimly lit, with a bell on the counter and a guest book on a table. Jake rang the bell, but no one came. "Hello, is anyone here?" he called out. There was no answer. He looked at the guest book and saw that the last entry was dated 1978. "Wow, this place is really old," he said. "Maybe we should just leave," Lisa suggested. "And go where? It's pouring outside, and we don't know where we are. Maybe there's a room we can use for the night. Come on, let's look around." Jake grabbed a key from a rack behind the counter and led Lisa to the hallway. They tried a few doors, but they were all locked. Finally, they found one that opened. The room was small and shabby, with a double bed, a dresser, a TV, and a bathroom. It smelled musty and stale, but it was better than nothing. They put their bags on the bed and checked the bathroom. There was no hot water, but there was a towel and a bar of soap. They decided to freshen up a bit and then get some sleep. They were exhausted and hungry, but they hoped that things would be better in the morning. They took turns using the bathroom and then got into bed. They turned on the TV, but there was only static. They tried to find a radio station, but there was only white noise. They gave up and turned off the TV. They cuddled under the blanket and tried to relax. "Maybe this is all a bad dream," Lisa said. Maybe it's a hidden camera prank show," Jake joked. They laughed nervously and kissed. They closed their eyes and hoped to fall asleep, but sleep did not come easily. They kept hearing strange noises outside their door, like footsteps, whispers, and knocks. They ignored them at first, thinking that it was just the wind or their imagination. But the noises got louder and more frequent until they became impossible to ignore. "Did you hear that?" Lisa asked. "Yeah, it sounds like someone is walking in the hallway," Jake said. "Maybe it's the owner of the motel. Maybe he came back and saw our car. Then why doesn't he come in and say hello? I don't know. Maybe he's shy, or maybe he's angry that we took his room without permission." They got up and looked through the peephole. They saw a dark figure standing in front of their door. It was wearing a long coat and a hat, and it had a suitcase in its hand. It looked like a traveler, but there was something off about it. Its face was hidden by the shadows, and it did not move or make a sound. "Who is that?" Lisa whispered. "I don't know. Maybe we should ask." Jake opened the door slightly and said, "Hello? Can we help you?" The figure did not respond. It just stood there, staring at them. "Hello," Jake repeated. The figure suddenly lunged at them, grabbing Jake by the throat and pushing him back into the room. Lisa screamed and tried to pull the figure off Jake, but it was too strong. It threw Lisa to the floor and slammed the door behind it. Lisa crawled to the bed and reached for the phone. She dialed 911, but there was no dial tone. She looked at the phone and saw that the cord was cut. She threw the phone away and looked for something else to use as a weapon. She saw a lamp on the dresser and grabbed it. She smashed it on the figure's head, hoping to knock it out. But the figure did not seem to feel any pain. It turned around and looked at Lisa with a twisted smile. It had no eyes, no nose, no mouth, just a blank and bloody face. It laughed and said, "Welcome to the motel. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave." Lisa screamed and ran to the door. She tried to open it, but it was locked. She banged on the door and shouted for help, but no one came. She looked for a window, but there was none. She was trapped in the room with the figure, who was slowly approaching her. She backed away until she hit the wall. She had nowhere to go. She closed her eyes and prayed for a miracle. The next thing she knew, she was Joaquin. He shrugged and said, "I don't know. Maybe you had a nightmare. Maybe you were sleepwalking. Maybe you were hallucinating. Maybe it was a glitch in the Matrix. I don't know. But it doesn't matter. We're safe now. We're alive. We're together. That's all that matters." He kissed her and said, "Come on, let's go. We have a long way to go." Let's forget about this place and never come back." She nodded and said, "Okay, let's go." They got out of the car and packed their bags. They got back in the car and drove away. They did not look back. But as they left, Lisa didn't see the smile on Jake's face. She also did not notice a sign on the side of the road. It read, "Thank you for visiting the motel. We hope you enjoyed your stay. Please come again soon." The end.